Good evening. Contradictions, angry exchanges and disgusted fans. Yes, it's another day in the life of Coventry City Football Club.
Well, last week the club announced it would be moving their home games from the Ricoh Arena in Coventry to Northampton Town's Sixfields Stadium. Today, our sports correspondent Steve Clamp secured the first TV interview since the decision with manager Steve Pressley and chief executive Tim Fisher. And Steve, what did they have to say?
Well, let's put it this way, it was pretty extraordinary actually. I spoke to Stephen Pressley, the manager, at about midday. He, as any good manager might do, was trying to big up the players, saying that they're ready to give their all. And when I asked him if there was any chance of Coventry playing their football in Coventry, well, this is what he had to say.
Well, from my own experiences, you never say never in football. Currently, we're aware that it is Northampton, but as I've said, you never say never.
So, after everything, still a chance then. The team will play in Coventry. Just 5 minutes later, Chief Executive Tim Fisher agreed to talk to us. Having just heard there was a glimmer of hope the club would reconsider, I asked him for his take. It was quite different.
There is no chance that that will change. We have agreed to ground share, we have signed a contract, and we intend to kick off the season in Northampton.
So even within the club, contradictions. But of course it is worth adding Stephen Pressley will be far more focused on just getting the team ready wherever they play. The rest of it is really out of his hands. So after brief hope of being back in Coventry, the team were promptly back to Northampton. So what do the fans think? Well, I spoke to quite a few of them in the city centre. None were happy about the move, especially one who brought up an aspect I hadn't even considered.
My uncle has a memorial at the Ricoh at the moment in the little memorial garden. A lot of other people do, and it'd just be horrible to take them out of the Ricoh. That's where, there's a lot of people that just be disgusted. It's horrible. We shouldn't be playing at Northampton or Coventry City.
Coventry is obviously a team that deserves to play in this city, and I think a lot of fans simply won't just go outside of the city to watch them.
I think 10 years ago they were in the Premier League, and now it's playing at Northampton. It's a bit of a joke. They're the laughing stock of the Football League.
So, Steve, the fans clearly not happy, and we understand neither is the former Vice Chair, Gary Hoffman.
Yes, indeed. He's put in an offer to Coventry's owners, saying he would pay the rent at the Ricoh, plus any get-out clause with Northampton. He would take none of the money from the first 3,000 tickets sold for each game, and then just recoup costs once sales were above that. He told me any other profit would be split 50-50 with Sisu, the owners, and the academy. This was Fisher's response.
It's not a real deal. So if you look very carefully at the deal, it talks about free rent, but on the other hand, it talks about taking monies out of the one revenue we did ever have at the Ricoh, which was the ticketing revenue. So it's not real.
But that said, there's a lot of fans saying they simply won't go to Northampton. So is there not a chance you'll go there and get no revenue anyway?
No, we will get some revenue. There are some fans that are going to travel. We do feel sombre and we are very heavy-hearted with the move, of course.
As we said, Hoffman, who I spoke to, he's out the country at the moment, I spoke to him on the phone, disagrees with Fisher's argument there and will be asking for talks in the days to come. I also asked Mr Fisher for his thoughts on highly critical comments raised in Parliament this week and what his message was to the many unhappy fans. My full interview with him and with Stephen Pressley can be found at itv.com/central. If you're a Coventry fan, or I'll be honest, if you've got any interest in football, it's probably worth having a look.
I'm fascinated.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Look forward to the next instalment. Steve, thank you very much. Now, a man